Hey guys, it's your Kofto here and welcome to the video. Now without further ado, welcome to the ZA DLC run. Now this is on the main account. I've been excited for this, but it's time to get into it. And without further ado, of course make sure you guys like and subscribe, but let's get into it. We start this video off getting a mystery gift. Now you might be wondering, what is this mystery gift for? Well, it's for the Pt1 X and Y, which gives you the option to be able to go catch something. So we immediately head there, immediately go in, and what the fuck is that? Oh, wait, nope, it's just normal screen. Okay. Anyways, continuing on, we go to catch Mewtwo. Now, this run I was extremely excited for because as soon as the DLC came out, I wanted to play it. Now, obviously, I should have done a normal run, like a normal video run of my Let's Play through this account, but I ended up going on 164 hours plus on this account and catching so many shinies that it was crazy. So we had this squad assembled and we went straight into it. We get to the roof of Hotel C and we see a little girl sitting on top. Her name happens to be Ansha, and yes, she is accompanied by a Hoopa. Now, you might be asking, who is this character and what is going on? Well, she has a particular request because she wants to make donuts. Whilst we're figuring out why she wants to make donuts, Tawny gives her the great idea to put her stand right there where AZ, our boy, was. And I don't understand why, but then after that we had to go get some butter. And it just so happens that two other people needed butter. So what do we have to do? Go into a double battle? Now, I wasn't expecting this, but I was perfectly fine with double battles coming into this, because that made me excited for the way these battle mechanics worked in these battles. And of course, it was a clean, easy sweep, but it was very fun to do, and I'm definitely going to have much enjoyment with these. With that, Tarragon goes ahead and starts evolving his Excalibur. Yeah, that's his name, right? He evolves his Excalibur, and we sadly one-shot him with a Mega Gyarados. So that was the victory done, and we won that battle. We go on ahead, and of course we give the butter to Ansha because she wanted it so bad. But after giving her the butter, we are finally able to make donuts. And I did not expect this to be like making shiny sandwiches in Pokemon Violet, but it is much like that in a lot of senses, and you'll come to find out soon. Going into this, we find out that there are portals in the world. And when I tell you I was not prepared for this, I was not ready for this, guys. Now, Hoopa pulled out some amazing mechanics here and just throws rings into there, and boom, there we go. The portal opened, and there she just walks straight up in there. Yep, that's how it goes. She walks straight up in there and we have to chase after her. Typical Pokemon story stuff. But we go into the realm that I was not prepared for. I honestly think they did amazing with the way they planned this out. But getting into it, we just start running around, and I was running around for about probably 7 minutes before I finally found this area, because I was just exploring and like looking at everything. And then we found a Primeape? But don't worry, there were 4 others above us, and I really kind of wasn't ready for this fight. I'm gonna be honest, like 3 of my teammates died, but it was okay. We still beat them because Forges put the work in and just took them out with this hit. Of course, after that, we find Ansha, and then she decides to run away again. But we finally catch up to her, and we're able to finally talk to her and be able to head back to the other world. Unfortunately, we couldn't expect to go back without something happening. So as soon as we get there, we see Ansha with her mouth wide open, looking at a portal opening above the entire world. And that also marks the introduction to the Mega Dimension DLC, which they did amazing for. With that, Ansha begins to talk to us about how the donuts worked and how she's very excited that they worked and that we know they work. And then she explains to us a story as to where she saw Rayquaza. Like, I was not prepared for that. But of course, directly after this, we find out there are challenges we have to do in the zone. We get explained what's going on in their perspective in the world of Lumos, and we get updates to our maps so that we're able to see everything on it. But finally, we head back to Hotel Z to go, and wait for it, go make some donuts. Where we find out the donuts can have perks, even a one for shinies? But don't worry, right after Mabel comes straight along to give us an update for our Pokédex so we can see how many new Pokemon we can catch in this new world. With that though, we start our brand new adventure in this world, and Hoopa goes on to open our first portal into the new area. We immediately start focusing on the challenges though, because I wanted to see what happened when we completed them, so we just go exploring and do as much as we can for that. I still think they did an amazing job on these areas. The way they made it one typing of Pokemon that spawns in each area. They just decided to make the world very unique, and they also made it so that you could collect Pokeballs around the map that give you XP candies for doing so. We are also able to learn just how strict these zones are with the time limit, so just be prepared to watch the time limit and watch how long you're in these zones for. Of course, after that, we continue to go on and explore more of the areas and zones, where in this one we actually end up completing every objective. After completing every objective and running around for a little bit, we find out there's this thing called a bonus Pokeball, which we don't have time to get because we run out of time in the zone. We do end up learning during this time that most zones have a new spawn of a new Pokemon in the new Pokédex. Of course, we end up traveling this next zone, and I was just trying to complete everything that I possibly could, but we end up finding one of my favorite Pokemon in this area. And for all of you out there, yes, that did so happen to be this little bird named Starly. But this bird did amazing things in the Sinnoh region for me, and he was on my team and made it to the Elite Four with me and beat the game with me. Of course, after doing that and getting this last Pokeball, we decide to get out of this zone and go to the next one, where I had a feeling something was going to happen. I mean, Hoopa just cooked this one up. And I guarantee you, I had to be one of the first people to get this challenge. But we got a challenge for Catch Shiny Pokemon. I kid you not though, when I saw this challenge, I did start freaking out and panicking. I ran around this zone for a while. And the fact is that I just started to fast travel over and over again, and then with about 80 to 70 seconds left, I want to say, I started running around. Now, one thing I will mention during this is I am so lucky that the bus did not spawn under this parkour area, or else I would have been screwed. Yep, I know, that's right guys, absolute cinema. I threw that ball as fast as I possibly could as soon as I saw the sparkle, but we did it. We completed the Catch Shiny Pokemon challenge. I definitely didn't expect to be able to beat that challenge, but with that, I was extremely excited, and we also got the points that we needed to be able to complete the challenge and find out what's next in our chapter. Of course, with that as well, we had to name this Abra content because he did amazing and that was just absolute cinema. We go back to see Corbell and we find out that Vinny found out that there's a case of rogue mega evolution going on yet again. Of course, since we're the GOAT of the story, we're expected to fight a very strong trainer, and I was wondering, who could it possibly be? Well, we had to guess every single name just for him to tell us. Oh, I'll tell you who it is. Now, I'm sure we're all questioning who could this possibly be, and they might have been in the trailer, but we find out now. And it just so happens to be Corinna. We go on to battle Corinna, but sadly, since we still had our level 100 Pokemon on our team, she did not stand a chance, and this is how the battle went. We are forced to use Mega Evolution during this battle though, so we Mega Evolve Gyarados to get the final KOs for this battle, which concludes the battle with Corinna, which was sadly an easy sweep. But I don't think we expected Nintendo to pull this one out of the books. With Corinna down, we talk to Corbell yet again, and then we're finally able to talk to him and Corinna about what's going on, and we go back to Hotel Z. We make more donuts, and then we head to the Mega Portal with Corinna, where Tawny is obviously running late as normal. And let me just say, when I did not expect them to face us off versing the same exact Mega Pokemon we started the game off with, I mean, I was low-key excited about it because I was wondering what they had prepared for us, and I was not ready. I truly think they did amazing with this Mega, but it was a pretty easy battle, and with this we closed it out. Of course, now after Rogue Mega Battles, we get to catch the Pokemon as well as get the stone with it, which I think is a great add to the game. Closing this battle though, we head to Hotel Z with Corinna and Tawny where we meet with everyone else, have a conversation, then Corinna goes to the roof. With that though, we start our brand new adventure in the DLC, starting the next day, where we get greeted by other characters and we have to do another double battle. Of course, this battle ends up going like how every other one you would expect to go, so I'll just let it play out for you. And with another victory closed out, we're able to talk to Laban, and then finally go explore again in the DLC world. But of course, before we can do so, we have to meet Corbo again, where we are told there are hyperspace Pokemon roaming around normal Lumos. Of course, after hearing that conversation from Corbo, we begin to immediately explore every single area in these worlds so that we can gain points to do the next challenge. We finally get this bonus Pokeball, and then we learn that we get Hyper Berries from them, which can be used to be able to create more powerful donuts that give you a lot longer timing zones and a higher level cap. After exploring that area, we also find out that there are side missions in the other world, so we immediately go to this one to find out what's going on. We get this letter that we're told back to bring back to someone in the other world, so we do exactly that, and I must say that this story is amazing. Of course, she asked us to battle Tarragon for her because he convinced her that the only way to do right by this is to battle me and then give me what was given to him to fix. This victory though, Tarragon finally gives us the item and we're able to hand it back to her so that they can be together once again. We finally go to our next hyperspace zone where we find Clobopus, which I didn't even know what type of Pokemon this was until I caught him and looked at him and everything, but he's very interesting. Then after that, we hop straight into the next zone where we find out there's a Zangoose spawn, and when I tell you it took me forever to catch this, I mean it took me about probably 10 minutes, which is a very long time. But after finally completing this zone, we get all the points we need to be able to enter the next hyperspace distortion area for Mega Evolution Battle. Also remember guys, don't forget to buy berries from the shop because you get increased time limit from specifically buying berries from shops. We of course run into a side mission where we're supposed to look at these trash lids, but I didn't feel like doing it now, so I saved it for later and kept exploring, where I find out about these mega battles that are very, very difficult. I will admit I tried this about 5 times before I finally gave up and just continued to explore other parts of the world. Of course, I didn't get enough of the areas, so in this one I decided to go into it, but I decided to shiny hunt in the zone. So we automatically get started, and let's see what I find. Now, I will admit, in this area my specific hunt was Starly, but I realized the spawn was too far away, so I settled for this, went for it, and of course we had to take pictures with our new member. Now this is where we finally get to the area where we need to be for the mega battle I was definitely not prepared for, and when I saw this Pokemon, I stood in the area for about 1 minute just sitting there because I was not ready for this, but it was absolutely beautiful. This battle was pretty easy because we had Mega Ampharos on the team, and Mega Ampharos definitely did an amazing job of cleaning this one out, but I could not wait to shiny hunt this Pokemon and see its Mega Shiny. But that being said, with this Rogue Mega battle closed out, we go ahead and catch the Staraptor, and we get the Staraptite. We end the day with the cutscene of Ansha and Corinna talking, where I did not expect this to happen, but we get this thing where a Pokemon says stay away, and that's the most eerie thing that could possibly happen, but that just made me even more excited for this DLC. Of course, directly after this we have to go and babysit Ansha with Corinna, where we go and take her to the museum to explore a couple things. Of course, after that, we go to a cafe where Ansha ends up getting some coffee, which she doesn't like so much. But don't worry, immediately when we get back to the Hotel Z, there's a loud thud in this hotel, which, what could that noise be? And of course, I'm the one that has to go check the room because I am the bravest one here. But we find out that it is a Gulpin. We of course end up having to go talk to Corbeau again about everything that's going on with the realms. But after that, we begin our first shiny hunt for one of the Pokemon I was very excited for. And if you were guessing the answer was Starly, then you were correct, because as soon as I saw this area, I knew it was perfect for it, so let's just see what happens. We end up starting off with these two Fletchling spawns, and I was expecting these, but I also got scared that the Starlies underneath me did not spawn, so I was very worried when I went down there. But lo and behold, there was not one, not two, but 3 shiny Starlies in the same area, and boy was I happy. As well as we can't forget the shiny Spoopus spawn that also spawned in this area, which I was also happy about, and of course we had to take pictures with every single one of them, even when we evolved Starly going up. So far, DLC-wise, I think they've done amazing, and I was just so happy that they added Staraptor in general, and a Mega for him was absolutely huge. Of course, we end up going back to Hotel Z, where we find out that Gulpin can give us berries for donuts that we don't want to use. Also, during this time, I forgot to add, I lost the footage for it, but we did end up catching a shiny Farfetch'd as well, which I was extremely excited about, and I just can't wait to see what else is in this DLC. Of course, after creating more donuts, we go ahead and travel to more areas so that we can gain points so that we are able to do the next Mega Battle Challenge. We do end up finding a Mankey in one of these areas and we end up catching it, which excites me for what else I get to see in these areas, but I also know there's so much more to come during this DLC. Now, in this last zone, we end up finding a Meowth, but this area does basically do it for the video, and of course, if you did, guys, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to comment what you think about this DLC, but I truly think it's amazing, and I can't wait to make more on this, so stay tuned for more.